Hello and welcome to the Tam-Tara Deepcroft, the second main story quest dungeon in Final Fantasy XIV 2.0. Please like, share, and subscribe, and follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/GizmoMogwai1027. And with that, let's go ahead and get into this dungeon. This is from a warrior tank perspective, and it's a pretty simple dungeon. So first and foremost, I do want to preface this by saying that if you don't feel like your party is capable of doing big pulls, try to pull small and see how they're going to, gauge it. But as you start out, you're going to have these first two enemies right here. Go ahead and range attack them if you're trying to pull big. That'll ensure that you have hate. Then you're going to have two more here. I'll just do an AoE to grab them, and I just keep tomahawking as I'm going. You'll have two more there. Then you're going to have a whole gaggle of enemies right here as well. This is where the fun part comes in. Go ahead and pop some cooldowns if you can, and just start AoEing. As a tank, you will have an AoE. I got stuck with a couple Arcanists, or Black Mage, looks like. And they have some AoE skills as well, so we can actually burn these down really good. So after you kill all these enemies, you're just going to continue the path on down that I'm going currently. So this room is going to come up with two enemies in it. Go ahead and AoE or tomahawk or however you need to ensure hate on both of them. Then you're going to have one roamer there. Go ahead and grab that as well. And what I do is I just pull them all the way up to the boss room here, which has three enemies here. Once the three boss enemies are killed, another enemy spawns, which is like the final boss of that little area there. And it's a demon. So once you kill all these, you'll be able to see that the demon spawns right there. Void soul counter. So just go ahead with your party and whittle him down. He can be stunned. He can be interrupted as well with the spell that he does. But he's not really too much of a trouble. So now that the boss is dead, you have to actually interact with these cultist orbs, otherwise your path is blocked. Go ahead and open the treasure coffer, roll on your loot or pass on it if you don't need it. And then you got these first two enemies here with a roamer that's close by as well, so I grab them. And you got four here, three that are a pack there and one more roamer. I go ahead and grab all them, and I go to the next room here and I grab everything in here as well. Three more dire mites. And I just go ham on them. Make sure you pop your cooldowns and just kind of, bring everything back to the caster that you're going to have in this group. That way you're hitting everything together and you're whittling everything down as a group instead of one at a time or one pack and then the other pack that wouldn't come with you. So now that all of those are done, just keep on going through this little hallway and you're going to get into the second boss room. Pretty much the same thing other than there's one more extra little imp. So just kill all four of these things. And then the same final boss from the first room is going to show up, another demon. Rinse and repeat and make sure that you hit that cultist orb once everything's dead. Alright, congratulations, you got past the second boss here. Now we got these 2 Yarzons. And then we're going to also have a few enemies up here. 2 Fireflies and another soldier, undead soldier. Then 2 more Yarzons right here as well. And then we're going to go up here, and there's going to be 3 more soldiers. 2 of them are in a pack together. 1 is a mage. And then you're going to have 1 roamer as well there. And then 2 more Yarzons are right around the bend right here as well. So I go ahead and grab all these here, start trying to gather them all together, and then I try to bring it back to the mages. That way everything's getting hit. More or less it's just rinse and repeat. And this is all the enemies that you have to fight for this spot right here. Now I do want to stress again the fact that just because I'm doing these big pulls doesn't mean that you have to do these big pulls. I'm just showing you the optimal path that you have to take, because all these enemies do have to be killed in this dungeon that you're going. There are some alternate paths to optional areas in this dungeon that don't really offer anything beneficial, but you can take them if your group decides to go with you. Now we're up to these 3 enemies here. There's also that sealed barrier there. We actually can't get past that until we go up to this room over here. And we have to interact with the Cultist Rosary over there. But in order to interact with it, we have to kill these 4 enemies as well. So 7 new enemies, 2 of them casters. And we just try to gather them all together. Because the way the casters work, I'm not going to be able to get them all together in one group there like that. But I can hit 2 of the casters at the same time with my AoE. So we do have a little bit of work to work around there, but all in all, as long as you're popping your cooldowns, you're AoEing all these targets down, you're going to be just fine. Now that everything's dead, go ahead and interact with that Cultist Rosary. And this item will allow you to break that barrier up ahead and get into that 3rd boss room. Now this is pretty much the same thing. 4 more imps and 1 more NPC, Octavio the Unforgiving. Nothing too difficult here, just go ahead and whittle them all down again, and then once everything is dead, another demon will spawn. Rinse and repeat with the demon because they're the same thing. Now with that dead, you go ahead and have to hit both of these cultist orbs, and that will allow you to get to the center room to fight Galvanth the Dominator, who is the final boss of this dungeon. And he actually has some mechanics that you can't like really brute force your way through because he goes invuln. And you'll see here in a little bit what happens. So you go ahead, get your aggro on this guy, and he will spawn some adds here in the fight. You can try to interrupt his spell here if you can get it, but now he's gone invuln. Whenever he's got these tethers, you need to kill these imps. Otherwise, you can't do any damage to him. 1 will spawn, and then there will be 2. So just make sure that you get your party to acknowledge that those imps are there and kill them. Now here is the next imp. Just another one, but it also spawns some regular adds to kill along with it. So go ahead and gather those adds up if you can. They're not really too dangerous, and your DPS should be able to manage them on their own if they so choose to. But as a good tank, you should try to gather them all up so they can AoE it all. Watch out for Mind Blast, because that's actually pretty detrimental to your health, and it gives you a paralyze. You don't want that. Now here's the 2 Tether Imps. So I go ahead and grab all of the ads that I can. I bring them over to an imp here, and I just start AoEing everything down so that I can get rid of the imp and the ads. Now I got all the ads dead on my end here. We'll go over here and kill the other imp, and now it's just a race to the finish to kill Galdland. Just keep watching out for the AoE that he throws out, which is Mind Blast. Heal and mitigate through the damage as you can. Pop your limit break if you want. And there you go. You're done. Congratulations.